one of the prerequisites. And I don't know, I said 20 or 30, it was probably more than that. I mean, there was every contest spot, I maybe do 10 or 12 of them, you know.
And how many contests in a day do you do?
3, 5 on Saturday.
Who was the best?
Carver?
Who was, yeah.
Carver.
Yeah.
Hey, we won't tell them. If you name names, we won't tell the other
I
people.
mean, Joe Hill was good, Barney was good, you know, and
We won't tell the
Gus
people you
Samara
won't
was
name
good. What?
We won't tell the people you won't name either.
Was there ever a point where you could look at a carving and say, oh, that one was done by whoever it was? Could you
Yeah,
get
there
a
were
signature style?
There were certain people that Barney and Ken Polari and Wayne Lundberg, you know, I could tell those guys because I was around them. But yeah, they had a distinct style. Barney did what I call Chinese carving. I learned from Wayne Lundberg and it's what I call flame carving. So I don't know. I think one of the best ways is if I have a piece of paper, somebody's got a piece of paper.
There was pads over there with pens.
We got power tools. No paper.
I got it. Yeah. So.
The company's hotel. I'm on a yo-yo. I'm getting to a pretty baller.
That's why we're here learning.
So, if you look at those, you know,
Familiar.
Like a calligraphy.
yeah. So those are just cuts, so you can see that. I don't know if this is going to work at all. The blade has to be flat on one side and like a chisel down on the other side, because if not, you will slip. It has to dig in.
Oh, this is gonna be fun then.
And actually, he did. Who shaped this?
Well, it was the last minute shaping with the wrong tools. That was me.
Okay. This is a little bit too straight. The blade, Barney would use a blade like this, and I would really use a blade like that. And so basically you're carving
Like a sheep's foot blade.
with this part of the blade right there, close to the tip. And Barney would carve kind of direct in like that when he used what I call the Chinese, because the letters look kind of like Chinese, where the flame carving was.
I mean, the other blade on that knife is more curved, but the bevel is back. It's for left-handed.
Yeah, right. So that doesn't do me any good.
When you scratch your ear, I thought it was gonna go.
Well, I can use this.
Darn it.
That's okay.
Can you hear me still? Good. So the new Duncan,
I'm,
a lot harder wood.
Yeah.
Of Euro.
I'm very fearful, as a matter of fact, because if this thing,
Would the Swiss Army knife be any better?
no, this thing slips, though, and that's. See, it just slipped off the side.
Do you find the newer yo-yos harder to carve because of the paint and/or hardness of the wood?
The lack of lead.
The newer yo.
Yeah, lack of lead in the paint, exactly.
It would.
Yeah, for sure.
I don't carve new yo-yos.
It's hard to carve into that aluminum, isn't it?
Did you ever have to carve plastic yo-yos in the transition?
Yes, When the Imperials and,
Yeah.
and the plastic butterflies came out, we carved.
How was that?
Well, they carved rather easily. I mean, the plastic would cut fine, but you know, we used to do wood, and it was really faster because you have to trim the plastic. You cut into it, and then you trim it, and you cut into it, and you trim it. Not only that, but it was so nice with wood is after you carve, then you put ink on it, and so it would really show up nice.
I found one plastic carved yo-yo, and you couldn't see it. It was a translucent plastic, so you really couldn't see. It was just initials, and it looked like, I don't know if an actual demonstrator did it, because it wasn't very nice. It looked like it might have been done by the kid himself, but they carved in initials, and that made me realize that maybe demonstrators did get a chance to do that.
Nice.
Wow. So now, from a collector's perspective, can you date this for me?
Can I what?
Date it.
Because I wouldn't want to interrupt the collector's market who values this as a period piece. Can I get this?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Would that be any
Got your name right on it.
Actually, it's in modern yo-yo, so there's not going to be a problem with it.
Right.
No.
So I'll try to do it.
2016 World Yo-Yo Contest mod.
Okay. If anybody would like to see this, it'll be on eBay. And B was not an easy letter to start with either. I don't be looking around the room going, oh sure, three letters. That's pretty smart.
Yeah. There we go.
When you tap the knife, it's to get the paint chips off.
Yeah. That's another way for it to slip. If you got a paint chip on the knife and you stick it down, all of a sudden the knife is sliding off into this finger.
So, in terms of dioramas, what was your trademark? Like, what did you ever do? Like, were you palm trees, or were you girls, or birds, or
Yes.
sailing ships?
Sirens. Yeah. It was really common. Everybody did palm trees, you know.
Because they look good.
And yeah, they looked pretty good, and they're not real difficult.
Birds were just 2 strokes.
Yeah, and birds are right.
That's flying past the tree.
It's just the
Maybe a sunset on the water.
Yeah, the sun setting,
entire
like you say, on the water.
not a piece.
This is not coming out very good, but
I have a question.
yes.
I saw what kind of blades do you use these? I know you probably already mentioned this, but I saw a video of a guy named Glenn Gotze who was carving a yo-yo, and he mentioned spade blade, I think is what it was called, and another type of blade. I just don't remember what it was.
You can watch Ben's video later.
Yeah.
I think I got some of Glenn carved me a yo-yo once, and he was at my contest talking about how he carved. And I think every carver might have a different blade they prefer. I can't remember if it was Glenn or a different guy, but he had a knife that you fit into the palm of your hand. With
Yeah, exactly.
And you carved in the palm of your hand as opposed to holding it like a regular knife.
I'm gonna remember it in a couple minutes. I'm gonna shout it out really loud. Like,
Sure.
That kind of blade.
That'd be wonderful.
But the way you made it sound like there was like one type of blade that was really good, and then the others were. Well, then again, you drew the blades, like which one Barney Akers used.
Yeah, like I say, there's basically 2 kinds of that I've only seen is just